Hello everyone, I'm Peaceful Nick the Medium and welcome to my live stream. I'm an evidential medium specializing in healing messages. I offer readings, one-on-one, group readings, classes, beginners mediumship and advanced mediumship classes. I also do one-on-one classes and guidance and healing classes. So if you would like to join any of those or book a reading, you can head on over to my snip feed in my bio and or below. If you're on YouTube, it's below in the comments, and you can, hi Kathy, and you can see all of my offerings and all of my social media links. So welcome everyone. I'm just getting started. Click that like button. Let's get some people on here. I'm going to give you some life updates and maybe some readings, depending. I haven't been live in a really long time. I've been off for a couple of months, maybe. I've had a lot of stuff going on. Hello, Sherry, Miss Mika, Kelly, NH, Titan Star, Nunyor Ash, Alex, Jerome, Dayron, Lil, A, hello, Geo. Hello, everyone. Click those likes. Let's get started and see what we can get done tonight. I actually really missed going live. Let me adjust this a little bit. I just moved. I'm in a new house. I'm in a new city. I moved completely across the country. So it's been a lot. I started a new job. My husband started a new job. We have completely revamped our entire life. So let's click those likes, please. Click those likes. Let's get a bunch of people on here and see if we can get some readings done. I'm gonna try and see what spirit brings me. So hello everyone. A lot of people joining this evening. I'm happy to see it. I used to live on the West Coast. Now I live on the East Coast, so my time zones have completely switched. So welcome everybody. It has been a very big adjustment. I really missed going live. I really missed talking to everyone out there, and I am very happy to be back. So if you don't know me, if you're new here, I'm Peaceful Nick the Medium. I'm an evidential medium. I do evidential mediumship readings, and what that means is I connect you to your loved ones who've crossed over to the spirit world. And so if you're someone in mourning, you're someone in need of some healing, I'm the person. Hi, Kathy. Oh, Kathy's here. I don't know if you heard my intro. Keep clicking those likes, everyone. So I am just getting back to lives. I've missed it very much. I can see people are just scrolling through their TikTok and coming across my page. And it's okay. Spirit will guide whoever's supposed to be here. Hi, Fizzin' with Sherry. Hi, Kathy. Spirit will bring who's supposed to be here. So again, my whole life has changed in the last couple of months. It has been a drastic change. It has been a lot of work and a lot of stress. And I am so happy to be back going live. And all of a sudden, it is getting very hot in my house, which, oh, I've missed you too. I don't recognize your screen name, Sherry. Did you change screen names? Hi, Books Are Life. Hi, everyone. Or I just don't remember. I'm getting a little older. Oh, not a bee. I thought so. Hi, Jen 1980. Christine, how have you been? Ooh, I have been super stressed. Hi, Arky Piglet. Moving across the country, I've done it before a couple of times. My husband and I like to switch things up and change things for a variety of different reasons. We wanted to buy a house where it was more affordable. So The West Coast is, nearly impossible to buy a home when you work in the education system. So we moved to the East Coast, and it's a lot more reasonable. Hi, Sue Logan. Oh, I'm fine. It's just a lot of busy movement. I'm not, sad or anything. I'm just, trying to adjust to, life where it's very hot. Kathy knows. Kathy, are you still on the coast down here? Or did you have to go north a little bit? You'll let me know. So it's Friday evening, East Coast time, but it's still, it's only 4:30 Pacific time. So I'm hoping, yes, South Carolina. Okay, that's what I thought. Let me know when you come back down here. Maybe I can take a day off and meet you, because it's not that far away for me. It's like an hour drive to the coast, hour and a half maybe. We can meet. I would love to. Maybe we can set up find a spot maybe and do some in-person reading somewhere. I'm sure we can find something. But I really have been thinking about that a lot, and I want us to go back to our circles now that things are starting to settle down. It has been very hot when we moved. So one of the things that happened was, so everything was going fine. We had our house paperwork all in order and ready to move. And we had our plane tickets. So we were going to fly to LA, which is a short hop from San Francisco. And then overnight, we're going to take the red eye to Florida and sleep on the red eye. Well, an hour before we left for the airport, they canceled our flights. And I was devastated. I was crying so hard. Plus I was emotional because I was leaving family and my youngest son who has some health stuff. And it was very hard. That day was really hard. And I was like, you've got to be kidding, because we couldn't stay where we were because our lease was up at midnight and we were taking the red eye. So then they rerouted us. And so we had planned on sleeping on the plane and starting our job the next morning. That was our plan. Well, of course, because they rerouted us, everything was messed up. And yes, we moved to Florida. And we obviously were awake all night because our flights were changed. And then we get to our house at 10 in the morning finally. And we, that paperwork was fine and done and all settled by then. And we get here and we're like, we got to go to bed. So we brought an air mattress with us because our furniture wasn't here yet. And we notched the air conditioner down because it was an unoccupied house. So it's set to 80. And so we notched it down to 72 to cool the house off, and it didn't cool off. So I'm in Central, Sherry. I'm in Central Florida. So our air conditioner wasn't working when we got to our new house that we just bought. And so we called the realtor because we had an inspection and all of that, and everything was supposedly fine. And we call them and they send a guy out right away, and we're like, oh good, they're gonna fix it, no problem. And it was very hot. Well, they couldn't get the part. For some reason here, they keep saying they're having, what do you call it when you can't get the piece, the shipments? Oh, it happened a lot during COVID. Well, where I lived before in the Bay Area, we haven't had that problem in a year and a half, where there's been no slow supply chain issues. There hasn't been supply chain issues there for like a year and a half. So I was shocked that they said that that was happening here. So we didn't hear from them and we didn't hear from them. Meanwhile, it's 112 degrees heat index outside. Luckily, the air conditioner kept the house at 80, so it wasn't like 100 degrees in here, but it was still miserable because it was so hot and we had no relief. And we were, going to work at our new job, coming home to a hot house. It took 11 days to get the piece. And after 4 or 5 days, we called another air conditioning company. Oh, yay. I'm in the Orlando area, Sherry. We should meet up. It took 11 days. So we called a second air conditioning company. And it was a Wednesday when we called them. And they said, oh, we can't be there till Friday because, everybody's air conditioner was breaking because it was a heat wave. And so Friday morning came and the second place canceled on us. And the first place finally contacted us back and said, oh, we'll be there today. We have your part. So from Tuesday through one whole week to Friday through to the next Friday, we didn't have full air conditioning. It was terrible. But I have a really cold, I teach at a school and I have a really cold classroom, so that was nice. I could be cool all day at work. But on the weekend, it was hard. Yeah, it was terrible. And then there are other weird things going on, like they did our new job. We both work at the same place. Weirdly, it's the third time that we've both worked at the same place in our marriage. They didn't disclose to us that we don't have insurance on day one. I've never had that happen in any salaried position I've ever had. And we're in our 50s. We have stuff, we need medicine for certain things. And so then today I'm like, well, where's our insurance information? We're supposed to have it now to sign up for it. And they go, oh, you don't get it till October 1st because you weren't here till August 3rd. And you have to be here a full 30-day cycle. Thank you, Dawn. So I am like livid. I'm so mad. I am so mad because they didn't disclose to us. And thank God I got our son his own insurance before we left. He's an adult, don't worry, but he is a type 1 diabetic. And we were just going to keep him on our insurance because he still falls under the age range. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get him his own insurance here before we leave because I don't know what's going to happen when we get there. And I got him his insurance, so that's fine because his diabetic supplies cost $10,000 to $15,000 a month without insurance. And who has that just laying around? And thank God I did because he wouldn't be insured for 2 months. That would be 20 to 30 grand in, money we would have to charge on some kind of credit card to keep our son alive. Okay, good, Sherry. Email me. You can go through my website. It's in my snip feed in my bio, and we can set something up. And we can meet somewhere or something. We'll find a place to go. Okay. Hi, TMD. So thank God I got my son his insurance and he has all his stuff and it's not costing us $30,000, thank God. But I'm pretty mad. That's very different here. Like even when I lived in Georgia, I had insurance on the first day of any job I ever got. Like I lived there for a really long time and I was very surprised that they didn't tell us before we got here. I'm just venting really more than anything. So that has been my biggest source of what, besides the air conditioning people, is our job didn't tell us we didn't have insurance. Would that make anybody else mad? And there's some reasons why we need it right away. Really. I've never had 60 to 90 days. I've always had day one. And if they would have disclosed that to us, we would have kept our insurance from our last job. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, and they didn't tell us because we could have kept, Cobra or whatever it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty mad. My husband's like, well, we'll just have to do our due diligence and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I like to vent about it. It helps me to vent and to get it off my chest. It makes me feel better, especially when I know other people understand. I know, I don't know. I'll check into that. Thanks, Dawn. I'll check in and see. But it's like, so, I don't know. I don't know if I'll contact the lady on Monday. They're not there all weekend. So, and they're gone now. It's almost 5 Pacific time. I'm sure they're not in the office right now. And they were pretty cool. Yeah, but it's, you should tell people that. I don't know. I've just never had a salary. Has anybody else had a salaried position that they don't start on day one? I just think it's, yeah, see, I've been to my sister too. I talk to my sister every day, my youngest sister every day. And that's, we have the Marco Polo app. Does anybody else have that? It's awesome because especially when you're on different time zones from people, and people work, but you got something on your mind. Yeah, I love the Marco. You got something on your mind and people are working, but you got to get it off your chest and you can't call them. It's like WhatsApp, but it's videos. So you can just like talk in the video, and whenever they can get away from work or whatever, or wake up from their nap, they can respond to it. But I'm glad to be back live. I have missed it a lot. I've been busy. I've still got some boxes. All my paintings aren't unpacked yet. Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. I'm sorry. Sue, my youngest sister, she's the one I go to, but it goes both ways. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm going to need to get that for my daughter and I. Yeah, it's called Marco Polo and it's really cool. Oh, I miss you, Kathy. Should we set up our circle for Tuesday if Wendy's available? It's okay. Yeah. I have not lost a sibling. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and we're not all close. Some, when you have okay, thanks, Kathy. You know how in a big family you kind of pair off and you can't be close to everybody at all times, especially because we all live far apart from each other. But where I live now is the clouds are so beautiful. If you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen me post 1 billion cloud pictures over the last couple of weeks because I love clouds. I love clouds. I love clouds so, so, so much. They're so beautiful. I don't know. They just bring me peace. It's kind of like grounding for me, looking at the moon. I take pictures of the sun. I took a beautiful picture this morning. That's one good thing about my job. My job, the part of my job that's my working part where I have my students, that's wonderful. My kids are great. I love that part. That's awesome. No problems there. I've been teaching for a very long time, so I've got it down to a science. Oh, you're the oldest, Christine? Oh. If you love sky pics, Sue, I don't know if you follow my Instagram. I don't have a lot of followers over there. I post them all the time. But where I work is a beautiful campus. It's the biggest campus I've ever worked on. And there's so many trees, and I don't know if you can hear the cicadas outside, but they're making lots of noise right now. But it's a beautiful campus, and I get there as the sun's rising over this big lake, and there's so many trees, and I just take beautiful pictures of the sun coming through, and clouds. Again, I love clouds. We went to this really cool restaurant called Grills. I think it's called Grills. And I don't know what part I'm not sure. I think it's northern Orlando. I'm not 100% sure, but it's right on a lake, and it's this huge restaurant, and so good. Yeah, I love sky pictures. I could just do that all the time. My husband was asking me this morning, and Kathy might want to weigh in any other medium that might be on here, or a person who does psychic work. Is there really only 11 people on here? I see 11. That's weird for a Friday night, but whatever. He was asking me, do you think you could just do mediumship full time? I'm like, yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, but we needed to buy a house, and I had to have a job. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Hi, Kimberly Robin. You can't buy a house if you don't have enough proven income from your home business for a long enough time, and it's a lot more strict now than it used to be. So thank God. It's easy to get a teaching job when you teach science. So they basically gave me the job, which should have been a sign. Oh, I can see you in art. I didn't know you followed me. Kim is the wife of one of my oldest friends from almost 40 years ago. And she is a wonderful, loving, and compassionate human being. I had no idea you followed me on TikTok. Oh, I'm so sad you guys were out of town when we left. It kind of happened pretty fast. I was not 100% decided that I wanted to move till the last minute. So I was kind of like half in, had a foot half in and a leg all the way out. Anytime we have a 3-bedroom house and it's just Doug and I. Yeah, Dawn, that's why they just gave me the job. They had actually the week before I got here. So this is how I got the job. I was not planning. I never applied for a job. I never applied. Not once. So when my husband got hired, he said, do you have any science teacher positions available by any chance? And the guy's like, funny you mentioned that. 12 hours ago, somebody resigned from the science department. Have your wife send her resume. So I sent my resume, and I'm like, whatever. And not because I don't love teaching. I didn't want to leave the Bay Area. I was trying so hard not to leave because my heart is there so much. And oh, thank you. So basically I had a 30-minute interview, and he said, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to hire you. Great. Then I get there and start the first day, and I find out they lost 2 more science teachers in the last week. One lied about her qualifications or something. I'm not really sure, but they fired her. And then, which I don't know who that was, couldn't tell you. Yes, I was in California, the Bay Area. And then the other quit or something. I didn't know any of them, so I don't know. But yeah, so then they gave me extra classes that I didn't know I was going to have. So that was good too. So it's just been an adventure. But my room is air conditioned. Oh, you're in Danville. Oh yeah, the Bay's the best. I lived right on the Bay. I lived in oh, thank you, Kathy. That is, don't mind my boxes. And my fan, see, we had to buy a big fan because our air conditioning was out. Those are copies, partial copies of the Lascaux cave paintings from France. They are I want to say cave paintings that were 20 to 30,000 years old, painted by ancient humans. So, yeah, I love them. And you know what? I didn't really like them that much. I love cave paintings. I wasn't a big fan of my own paintings. If anybody does any kind of creative stuff, you get it. You don't ever like your own stuff, hardly. But my husband said those are his favorite paintings that I made. And so I'm like, all right, well, hang them up. So, you know how we are. I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, but I love my students are wonderful and sweet. I have all freshmen, and which can be very good because freshmen new to a big school who come from so many different schools aren't comfortable yet as far as acting out. So they're very well behaved. I keep them very busy. They've been there for a week and a half on campus, and I've already had 2 of them tell me I was their favorite class, and not in a like butt kissing way. Like, they seem to be very genuine. And then my neighbor teacher in the hallway, I teach her son, and I didn't even know I taught her son. And she came to me and she told me, my son loves your class. It's his favorite class. And I was like, because I don't know anybody's name. I'm terrible at names. And I didn't even know her name till I saw her name badge. I knew her face, but, and she's like, yeah, my son's William. He's in your honors class. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I've been being a good teacher because, but yeah, so the kids are great. But with any job, if any of you know, if you've ever had to deal with people who run places, you can have issues because not everybody has good leadership. And then today I found out they have like 200 teachers at the school. It's a big school, something like that, 190 to 200. They hired, and I didn't know this till today, 30 teachers this year. They had lost and had to hire 30 teachers. That's a sign. If anybody knows, if you know, you know. That's a big, huge turnover rate. But my department, science people are usually, I'm just going to say it because I'm biased, they're usually cooler because I don't know, people who understand science and teach science have, all the science departments I've been in have the coolest people. Yeah. Oh, that's good, Dawn. Ooh, really, Kim? The state I'm in, I want to say the state of Florida is, I saw this somewhere. How true it is, I don't know. I want to say they had a 30,000 teacher shortage, 30,000 person teacher shortage this year. I want to say I read somewhere or saw somewhere. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure that's accurate. Yeah, the teachers I'm working with are all so nice and so helpful. They have helped me just asking, do you need anything? Can I help you anything? Can I bring you anything? They're, texting me and saying, hey, how about this cool camera for the microscope? Really cool, very helpful, kind people. Yeah, a positive environment does make a difference. And I have my own classroom this year, which is amazing. Because the last couple of years I had to share classrooms because of high enrollment. This school also has high enrollment, but because I teach 6 classes a day and they're all the same, they just have me in one classroom and nobody comes in there on my periods off to teach, which is wonderful. This year I'm teaching freshmen. I taught all seniors for over a decade, which has its ups and downs. I've taught every grade and just about every science too. So, but hopefully, I'm not going to ask you to say what school he goes to, but is it a public school or private school? Then I can narrow it down. I'm at a private school. Lakeland. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not there. I honestly am not sure what the town is where I'm. It's North Orlando, but I don't know if it's the city. The police that come to do our traffic are Orlando police, so I guess it's technically in the city. Technically. So I'm just gabbing away. I guess I'm going to have to start going live later to get everybody from the whole east to west. Oh, I'm glad. Hi, Nova Scotia. Hi, Susie from Nova Scotia. Well, Kim, if you're still on here, you got the whole lowdown of what happened to us. I'm glad you came on here. Normally I'm doing readings, but I'm just getting back on lives. So I couldn't tell you when a couple months ago. We did see Rick the day before we left. We went to Harry's Hofbrau. That was delicious. There's a beautiful sunset going on out there. It's gorgeous. Kathy, yes, I have. Tomorrow I have the 4th class of my beginner's class I know, Harry's, it was wonderful. I've never been there before. Tomorrow I have the 4th of my 6 beginners classes with my beginner students. My advanced classes I delayed because of the move. I hope to start them back up in September or October. And then my intermediate classes will start, I want to say December. I think they're scheduled for December. So yeah, and my readings, I have readings tomorrow. I have a couple of clients that are coming to me for one-on-one classes that don't want to join the classes. They don't want to join the classes with other people. They want one-on-one. So, oh, and you know what, Kathy? I've referred 2 people to you recently. My therapist, I think I texted you that. My therapist's sister lost their pet, and then the other person is someone I used to work with in California who had a dog that he had with his wife, and he had to recently let the dog go. It was very, 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 very old. So I told him, this just happened like a week ago. I told him to wait a couple months because he is devastated. He lost his wife prior, a couple of years ago, and the dog was all he had. They didn't have kids. And so I told him to wait a couple months to contact you. Oh, Sue. Oh, Dawn, I'm glad you watch Wendy. She's wonderful. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've gone through in my life. Yes, Kathy does wonderful pet readings. I can do pet readings. It's just not my specialty, so I prefer to refer them. Certified Medium Kathy, she's commented right above you. She's wonderful, absolutely amazing medium. And she has her, oh, bye, Kim. Give Art and the kiddos a big hug. And Aubrey, she's growing up so fast. I love you, Kimmy. Okay, just email me, text me. You have my number. Text me, we'll set something up. Bye, honey. Let's see. Yeah, so Sherry, there's Kathy right above you. wonderful readings. And then Sue, yeah, I'm all right. You know, my husband and I keep saying, thank God we're here together, you know, and we ride to work together. We ride home together. Those are fun car rides talking about all of this stuff. Because he works in a completely different department than I do. Like, he's in administration. So I get all the lowdown, which is good. Somebody else. Deja vu. Okay, so before I was a medium, Storm 57, I used to get a lot of deja vu. And I had a weird dream about house explosions last night. I don't know why. I get a lot of weird dreams like that. But before I was a medium, I thought deja vu was like, I believe it's possible that we live several parallel lives in parallel dimensions or universes at one time. And so I used to think, and I don't know if this is true or not, it just seems instinctual to me, that a deja vu could be like bleed over from another life you're living simultaneously, that you experienced that in that other life. And so those minds of all of your different lives are all interlinked. So there's no way for me to prove that, obviously. That's just what I think. I'm not a professional like deja vu reader though, or anybody that could explain anything other than that. Okay, good. She just emailed you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Good, good, good. All right. I love connecting people. Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing a one-on-one class, back to Kathy's question. I'm doing a one-on-one class with a lady who needs more guidance than somebody in a group of students. Then I have, she prefers that. That's what she asked me for. So she wants, it's a beginner mediumship class where I'm teaching her all the stuff I teach in my other regular beginners class, but also some healing guidance as well. So it kind of is a 2-in-1. And then I have some readings tomorrow afternoon. And then I teach my beginners class tomorrow night. So it's my first full day of mediumship since I moved. So it's been about a month since I've had a full day of mediumship. And I have an office now. Oh, it's the best. It's still got some boxes in it, but it's mostly set up. I'm very excited because I used to have to convert my bedroom into my office every day, every time I did readings, classes, anything. Now I have a full office and I just walk in and nobody else goes in there. It has a bathroom connected to it. It's very exciting. And I'm just so excited to have my own space. It's like my own sanctuary. So it's very exciting. I'm so happy. Oh, yay. Interesting. I always thought it was telling you were on the right track. Maybe. I don't know. Books are life. That's just what I think. I never even read anything about it. It's just in my mind what I came up with. So that's possible. I'm not going to tell you it's not. Dawn, I had deja vu once and it felt crazy, like an outer body experience. Yeah, it can feel that way. And sometimes it keeps going and you're like, why am I still in this deja vu? Like, it's so crazy. And then eventually it fades away. Kathy. Oh. Private mentorship is awesome. I will be sure to refer you. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Woohoo. Fizzin. Oh, Sherry, love that. Yay. I'm happy to see you. Oh, hi, Ma. Okay. Yeah, I've been out of commission for a while. Oh, Dawn, I'm sorry it scared you. Was it, did you feel like you were flying or levitating or something? What scared you about it? And by the way, if anybody's wondering why I wear these weird shirts, I'm a History Channel nerd. And I love The Curse of Oak Island. I love that show. I read about Oak Island as a kid. I loved reading as a kid, and I read everything. And whatever magazines came to the house, my mom would get Reader's Digest, National Geographic. That's how I started my science career, because of a National Geographic article about Mars, and it changed my life. But anyway, so I read an article, God, I was a kid, about Oak Island, which is off the coast of Canada and Nova Scotia. And it's a real thing. You guys can Google it, but they've had this show for like 10 years. And one of the guy who does the metal detecting, when he finds something cool, he calls it a top pocket find. And so I have these, my husband and my family always buy me these Oak Island shirts. So I'm a geek like that. So that's why I'm wearing an Oak Island shirt. Yeah. Oh, I know. I love it. I hope it comes back in November. They've never found like the full treasure, but they found so many weird artifacts on that tiny little island that it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't even care if they find treasure anymore. What the heck happened on that island? There's artifacts. There's a 1,000-year-old Chinese coin on that island. There's all kinds of French, Spanish. This is a Spanish, I can't remember the name of it. This is a picture of the thing they found the first season. Some Spanish coin. Lots of British military stuff. All kinds of huge wooden structures that don't make any sense why they're there. And there's no like historical record of them. Like nobody knows what happened. So now I just want to know what in the heck happened. Ma K, I don't know. I've been on here for 45 minutes. I'm trying to just get my feet wet right now and get back on the live. I've just been gabbing, really. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I felt like I was looking at myself from outside my body, right in the middle of someone's living room. So was it like you were astral traveling more than a deja vu, maybe? Because if you were you in that person's living room and you felt like you were outside of your body? Let me know. So yeah, these two brothers, Rick and Marty Lagina, are, one of them, Marty, I think, is in the oil business, and he has all this money, so he like pays for this huge equipment to dig up this island. It's cool. So you were in that person's living room and you felt like you were outside of your body. How long did it last? Like you felt like you were watching yourself? That's crazy. I don't even know if you would call that a deja vu. Just a few seconds. Interesting. I would mark it down, and maybe if you have like a notepad that you keep special notes in or whatever, or journal, write it down and then see if it happens again. If it's a one-off, it could be anything. If it continues to happen, you could get hypnotized and find out. Maybe. It was the first and only time. Just pay attention. Maybe it'll happen again. That would be scary if all of a sudden you felt like you were out of your body. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, for your sake, I hope it doesn't happen anymore. That would be scary, though. The other interesting thing that happens at my new job is because the campus is so spread out, we get locked down. First of all, like the second day of school, there was a bear in Florida. I didn't even know Florida had bears. I knew about the gators. There was a bear on our campus. We had to lock all the students in. It was crazy. And then we've had 2 times in a week and a half where there's been thunderstorms where we had to lock the students in because you can't let them walk through the lightning because there's several buildings they have to walk to. Yeah, I know. Wait till you see a panther. You know, when I was born in Missouri, and I lived in Missouri till I was 15. And I used to go camping in the country all the time with my family, obviously, not by myself. And my sister and I saw a black panther once in Missouri in a field. I was probably 11 or 12 years old. And we just stood still. It was at the end of we were walking through a field going down to the river, and we just stood there, and it just walked into the woods and left us alone. I mean, we could have been panther meat. Yep. Oh, wow. They are beautiful. I love big cats. I love all cats. My girlfriend told me the other day, she's like, you got to get a cat. And I love cats. I've had cats my whole life. But somewhere around 15 years ago or so, I became allergic to cats. I love animals. I love all nature. But I became very allergic to cats. Not dogs. I'm not allergic to dogs at all. But cats, anytime I go around a cat, I feel like there's cat hair in my mouth, like I'm choking, and I just get this sinus headache and just so congested. And my sinus headaches were so bad. I used to have to take 2 Aleve every morning when I woke up. I would wake up and I thought it was allergies because I was living in Savannah, Georgia. And if you've ever been to Savannah, it's like the worst allergies you'll ever have because of for some kind of pollen they have. Yeah, they make me itch too. And I love animals. So when I lived in Savannah, I thought my headaches I got every day when I woke up were from the pollen because they have like pollen storms there. It's crazy. Then we had a cat the whole time. Our cat disappeared when our son, he was in the hospital for a month. And obviously we weren't worried about our cat because our son was sick in the hospital. And we just figured she'd come back like she always did. And after she disappeared and he was in the hospital so long, she never came back, and we were just trying to keep our son alive at that point. So my headaches went away. I hardly got another headache after that. And I was like, we had that cat for 14 years, and I had a headache every single day, and I thought it was from the pollen. And when she disappeared, my headaches disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I was allergic to our cat that whole time and had no idea. Because I had animals my whole life. I've had animals. Yeah, I know. So now I hardly ever get any headaches unless it's like some kind of crazy pollen problem or if I pet a cat. And I love cats. I love, 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 love cats. Yep, Sue, my mom used to get so mad at me. I brought every cat I found home. We had so many cats when I was a little girl. Oh my God. I brought a cat home one day. I don't know where I found her. I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And I remember vividly she was on our front porch in St. Louis, and we had this brick wall on our front porch, and she was meowing, and she was hungry. And we had, this is funny, I was a kid, so I didn't know. We had macaroni and cheese for dinner. So I took a little plastic baggie and I put some macaroni in it, and I put it in the front of my pants and hid it. And I walked outside to give the cat, because she was hungry and she was crying. And I went outside and I gave her the macaroni and cheese on the porch. And I snuck her into the basement, and I didn't let my mom know. And I put her in a box in the basement. And the next morning, I went downstairs to check on her. She had 6 kittens under the stairs. I had no idea. Oh my God, my mom was so mad, because I had brought every stray imaginable home, and now we had 6 kittens and a cat with a belly full of macaroni. So at least she had a good meal to give her nutrition before she had to nurse all those babies. So, you know, I would, the cats. And then when I first met my husband, we met in Lexington, Kentucky, and he was working on a thoroughbred horse farm, and they were getting ready to start some kind of lawnmower or tractor or some kind of big equipment. And he heard this mew, mew. He heard these little mews, and the guy was about to start the machine, whatever it was. And he goes, wait. And he opened up the machine, and there were 2 tiny, like 4-week-old kittens. They were not old enough to be away from their mother. They were so little. And they were wild. And he brought them home, and we had to keep them in this little, I don't know, some kind of plastic container, because they were so wild. They were just going crazy because we, brought them home. He brought them home. And their names were Boo Boo and Sarabi, and we had those cats for years and years and years. And he saved them from being destroyed by that big tractor. And then a week later, he brings home 2 other kittens from the farm. So here we are with these 4 kittens. And I was happy as a clam. I would have taken 100 kittens. I didn't care. I loved cats. But I never had headaches then. So I don't know what happened in my 30s, I guess. Something happened and I became allergic. So I'm glad everybody joined me for my gab sesh tonight with my 10 whole viewers on here. So if you're interested, you can go on my snip feed in my bio and book a reading or not, whatever, wherever spirit guides you. I'm just getting to where I'm settling in and feeling like my home is a home. Unpacking and setting my office up has been wonderful. Now that my air conditioning's on. Oh, that was the other thing. We couldn't do anything because it was so hot in here. We barely had the basics out. We had our bed. Our bed finally came. And just a couple of dishes because it was so hot. We were too hot. It was too hot to unpack. So now we getting it all settled. Anyway, thank you everyone. Kathy, let's WhatsApp with Wendy and set up a time when we're going to meet again. Now that I'm on Eastern time, we can meet earlier, I guess, if you guys want to. Yeah, Sue, it is. I know, Dawn, I didn't want to out you. Dawn has a reading with me tomorrow. And actually, I want to give special props to Dawn because she booked a reading with me for last week. And I couldn't do it because nothing was in my office. Like, I hadn't unpacked anything. My desk wasn't even here or put together. It was a disaster. I didn't even have my chair. Like, I had nothing. And I texted her and said, can we please do it? I was gonna set my whole office up that day for you, Dawn, so we could do it the next day. But she was so sweet. And she's like, can we do it next week? And I'm like, absolutely. So I'm gonna send you the link in the morning. So thank you so much for being patient. So much. Because I was like in a panic. Oh my gosh. Because I don't like to disappoint people. Hi, Becky. Hello. I'm just finishing up, honey. I'm starting to lose my my voice here. An hour is my max usually on my lives. Because I'm just talking and talking and talking. I'm happy to see all of you. I will see you tomorrow, Dawn. I believe your appointment's at 1 or 2 Eastern. I'll book a reading too, really need to. Okay, my website. My time zones might be a little off. So whatever time you book, imagine that as Eastern time because my website hasn't updated the time zones yet. Okay, 1 o'clock. Thought it was 1 or 2. Yeah, perfect. I will send you the link in the morning. Thank you, Ma Kay. And I will see you guys all hopefully now. Crazy Shepherd Lady. Yep. Yay. Hi, Martha. Now everybody's coming on here. Of course, right when I'm getting ready to sign off. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to come back next Friday as well. Now that things are settling down. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Kathy. Bye, everybody. Thank you all for watching and listening to my silly stories. And I will see you all soon. Thank you, guys. Bye. Bye, Kathy. Bye, everybody. Bye. Good night. See you tomorrow, Dawn.